Can you hear me?
Underwear
Can you hear me?
on your, I can't hear you, but you got dirty underwear on your doorknob?
It's clean. No, it's clean.
Oh. What's going on? I
Can you
can't
hear me?
you. You're using that was such a flop. The earbuds without the wire was such a flop.
Give me
for
1
many
second.
reasons. As you're trying to connect, I'll tell the audience because they can hear me.
1 second.
I will say that
they'll be able to. Can you hear me?
The fact that they left the stem on when they made the wireless, the stem is like a ghost from when they were wireless. They should have just cut it off. Here. They should have cut the stem off, and it should have been like a magnet or whatever when you pull it out, and it's so cool. Little stemless, tiny buds, but they flopped it. As they did everything when Steve Jobs died and Tim Cook came over. And I hate to disparage a famous gay man on the first day of Pride, but alas, he was a flop. Gay people can flop. That is true equality. Gay people can suck. Imagine that. Steve, an abomination on watches. Let's see if this works. She has another wireless device. Rachel thinks she's in the future. She's actually in the past. Rachel turned 31, I believe.
Stop.
She's not able to dispute that because we can't hear her. It could have been 34. She's really getting up there.
Hold on.
Somebody said that they think I look younger than Rachel, which is just
there we go. Can you hear me?
We're not supposed to. No, I can't hear her, and we're not supposed to talk.
You're kidding me.
So we're not going to be doing that.
I have to stop and rejoin.
Worth noting, today on the holy day of Shabbos, I am balancing my mic on the Holy Bible.
Can you hear me?
From the hotel. I always kiss a Bible. That's a ghost from my religious past. Doesn't matter that it's not my Bible. It's somebody's Bible.
Can you hear me?
You know what it's called? It's called tolerance, respect. Well, nobody can hear Rachel. I don't know what she's doing.
All right. I have to quit.
What is she doing?
I'm leaving for a second.
She's leaving for a second. Look how good I am at my ring. I hope you stop the recording and you keep all this in.
Yes. Now I can't hear you. Unmute yourself.
At least you can hear me. But you see everybody that Rachel gives me a hard time that I don't do the
Robbie,
text.
Look at your text. Look at your text.
Are you sure the volume on your computer is up? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Why wouldn't it be up? It's up. I checked.
But you can't hear me.
It's up. It's beyond up. You can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You see, she thinks she's Gen Z.
Give me
she's actually tail end of a millennial.
Second. I'm getting wired headphones.
Are you sure? I have such a brand new computer. I can't thank you guys enough for the support on Patreon. Look what you did. I'm ahead of Rachel, technologically speaking. I went from my 2313 refurbished MacBook, which I believe is the year 2011, but I got it in 2013. And it had the 2015 software. So, and now I'm in the 2 years behind the 2024. But again, I don't think you have to buy the latest, the greatest. Refurbished. Check out the certified refurbished on the Apple website. People who returned computers there because they didn't like the fakakta color, you get $200 off. Why not? And you still get all of the bells and whistles of buying a new computer, including the warranty, Apple help, all that stuff. Rachel, at least when she came back on, she did remove the period underwear that she had on her doorknob. I mean, she goes out of her way to live like an animal. It's unbelievable. If you have period underwear drying, why don't you dry it outside of the camera? Who's that? Eitan? Who's coming here?
This is Kathleen.
She has to get a man to help her. You see this? Oh, no, it's not. It's the roommate who loves Gabby.
How's it going, Rob?
Look at this. Maybe it was the roommate's underwear.
Huh?
Maybe it was her underwear.
No, it's my underwear.
Okay, yeah. It was Rachel's underwear. Maybe we'll be miming. You know what? We'll be miming. This is very good for the hearing impaired. We're practicing our lip reading, which a lot of people take for granted how much communication is done in conjunction to speaking with lip reading. So I find that interesting. So we'll see what happens with her now. She's got a wire. See, she's got to take it back to 2007. She's yelling at me, my computer's old. Look what she's dealing with here. I hope she returned that awful shirt she bought for herself as a birthday present. I mean, it's just not right. It's just not right that this salesperson didn't have the heart to tell her. It was so ill-fitting. And Rachel already has body issues. So she
Can
needed this
you
like a
hear
welcome cup.
me?
No, nobody can hear her.
It's working on my
Nobody
computer.
can hear her. Why don't you press the little arrow by the mic?
It's working.
And make sure it's really plugged in. See, it's like God wants me to do the solo episode. I know it brings Rachel
Hello?
a tremendous amount.
You can hear me.
No, nobody can hear her.
I don't. It's recording on my end.
Maybe you restart your computer and you come back. Sometimes a restart. I know it's old school. It's one of those things.
No,
Remember when you had
happily.
to blow on a video
See
game
you
or something?
soon.
I never played video games, but I witnessed this from my
See you
brothers.
soon.
You have to unmute.
Okay, I can hear you. Okay, so let me just make sure it's short.
It
It was me.
You.
It was me. I was wrong. There's no question. There's no question.
All right.
There's
Caught you
no
red-handed.
But I hope
Yep.
you'll put all of that in so you see.
Sure. So
You
I
know,
see
people-
what?
No, people
was
think
your
it's
fault?
easy to make a podcast, but you become the tech guy also.
I mean, it's a disaster. We're not meant to do this. We're creatives,
Okay, same
not
as
scientists.
system and sure. I want to make sure sure is going. It's going. Okay, there we go. Wow. With that, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
That's quite good.
Dear H.E. Happy birthday to you.
Well, you know what? You didn't text me on my birthday.
I talked to you a bunch about your birthday, actually.
No, you didn't text me on my birthday to say happy birthday.
I think I called you, actually.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I believe I
No.
called you. I said, "Where's the party? What are we doing?"
That was the day before. There was nothing on my birthday.
Happy birthday to. Well, you didn't invite me to your birthday party then.
I didn't have a birthday party.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Who made you that cookie?
I went to All Time.
With who?
Chris Fleming.
Really? And you couldn't invite me.
Why would you come to All Time with Chris Fleming? He was taking me out to lunch for my birthday. Maybe, oh, Rachel, I'd love to take you out to lunch. Then I'd be like, you know what, Robbie and Chris, why don't you guys both take me out to lunch? You could pay for each other.
Okay, he could have split the bill. But I guess Chris doesn't need to split the bill anymore. You could
I
have
don't
invited
really-
a few people.
It was just me and him, truly. Shout out to Chris Fleming.
One
We
of the
became
funniest.
friends. He's great. We became friends last year, and it's been you know those people you just connect with immediately?
Yeah,
In a
he's
positive
so funny.
way?
That bit he has. What was the bit that he has when he goes to some big comedian birthday party and he was sitting on the bench on the edge of a chair? I don't even know. I don't
feel
even
like
know.
you guys go to the same parties a lot.
Yeah. You know, I'm kind of in the Hollywood hobnob community these days.
Yeah, how's that going?
Well, I don't think they want me there, but I'm there. They're not happy about it. I'm outing
No,
how much
there's-
people made on this, how much people made on that. Must be nice.
Right. You should have an informational booth at parties where you just have people tell you how much they made that year. You can do their
That's
taxes.
it. That's it. To me, that's the most interesting party talk. If you're hobnobbing, get out your questions because you don't know if you'll invite it back. In my case, many times I'm probably not invited back. I don't know how much
Right.
longer I have in this type of a community. I will say to
Right.
the happy birthday song, what a great song. It actually has just entered, it became public
domain.
maybe 5 years ago or something like this. And I really wish that some big artist, a Jay-Z, this would do a collab with it and just hit it like the Hard Knock Light. Remember, it's a hard knock light. Remember?
Yeah.
They could do that for the happy birthday song. It's
Yeah.
time to refresh.
It needs
the
a
Happy
new
Birthday. It needs remix.
spice up. Hey, Billie Eilish, if you're listening, or Sabrina Carpenter, some of ew, Robbie, that's like a baby bird about to throw up.
We're good.
Are you recording on your phone?
No, you want me to? I'll
Just
start
in
recording
case.
right now. Jesus,
It's okay. It's not
what
an
a
issue.
saga. Welcome to the Rachel Colley birthday
Happy
/
birthday
Pride
episode. Yes, today's the first day of Pride. I went to a party last night where there were so many lesbians, and I'm like,
Where was this party?
Verdugo bar.
What was the party for?
It was her birthday.
Happy birthday.
Same birthday as me.
Oh, wow. A great person. I think Sophie has your birthday then, because I was saying happy
No,
birthday to Sophie.
Sophie was May 29th.
What are
I'm
you?
May 30th.
That's the same
See,
birthday. You gotta calm down.
Birthday. But it's all these cool lesbians. No one wants to talk
Who was
to
the
me.
coolest?
I'm so short.
Who was the coolest?
I don't know the names of many of the people, but everyone in a black leather jacket. Just no question. It's like the heat from the fire was being attracted to the black leather jackets, and they were all standing over me.
I got a great duster black jacket from Natalie's parents. Shout out to Natalie Norman's parents, who are
What's
such
a duster?
hoarders. Somebody
it's
commented
long.
once it was a duster, so now I call it a duster because it makes me feel. I think
But
it's
is
like,
it long?
Yeah, it's a little long. It's not too long. It's like mid, but it's not cropped.
Okay.
But Natalie Norman's parents gave me this. They're both enormous. They were never going to fit in it. And I needed them to just be honest about this. The jacket fits me. The Normans have so many, they're very wealthy. They have so many amazing clothing. But her mother saves things in the event they're going to fit. The mother is in her mid-70s.
Yeah.
I'm like, Julie, wake up. It's not going to fit.
I understand. I am just starting to get
waste?
rid of clothes that will never fit me again. But I really used to wear children's clothes.
Yeah.
Well, not as a child, obviously as a child. I feel that, were you telling me the only thing I can wear is Gap?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough to hear.
Yeah, no,
problem.
but it is true, and I hope you would lean into that. I will
great
say
sales.
They do have great sales. I will say that
I have something crazy to tell you, but we'll circle back. No.
Okay.
We finish.
Okay. I will say, as somebody who used to, when I was first getting into dyke, how I want to dress, how I want to be, it's very euphoric to wear things that are boyish and whatever. And I was shopping a lot in the boys department because I'm also small and men's is too big and whatever. And now I like things big, so it works out that I'm in the men's department. But at the time, I was going to like H&M boys, Gap boys and stuff like this. And you're always stuck. Sometimes they'll see a striped t-shirt, just a cute nothing t-shirt. It's giving a 60s childhood, something like that. I would pick it up, but there's a robot on it. I'm not going to wear something now with a robot. So they ruin, or they got a plane going because it's for little boys.
Oh,
and
yes.
Sometimes
it's like,
you're
don't
arguing.
talk to me till I did my homework.
Yeah.
Or
and
I'm
one
not
time
doing
I remember
my
I
homework.
was looking at like a long sleeve plaid shirt, which is a very beginner dyke.
I never did that. I'm proud to say I skipped right on over that.
I don't know if you skipped it. You could have used, listen, whatever you're doing, I would just say you missed whatever was happening. Not that you skipped anything or whatever. That
Nope,
you
I
should
skipped
be proud.
right on over, cruised on into Balenciaga and Gucci.
Yeah, why don't you put on the top you bought for your birthday? Let's see it again. My God. Literally the most unflattering thing I've seen. It's like you're not helping yourself. If you wore more flattering clothing, you'd feel so much better.
It's actually quite fashionable, and I was looking
Can
on
I
TikTok.
take you shopping?
Of course, I'd love that.
But you'll have to pay. I'll take you. It's
I
not going to be
understand.
like Diddy inviting you to shop no, you're paying.
Okay. But don't take me to Prada. Take me to like a consignment store.
Yeah, I'm not taking you to Prada, okay? There's nothing there that'll fit
Okay, but
nicely on
you never know what could be in the works for me, Robbie, as well.
Oh, what happened?
No, there's nothing right now, but maybe.
Listen to me. So I was a size 12 boys at the time, 12Y, 12 youth, okay? And there was this lady shopping with her 11-year-old son who was maybe my size already. Maybe he was 13. Anyway, he doesn't want the shirt. There's one 12Y left. And she's like, oh, this, and I'm like, lady, move. He doesn't want the shirt. Okay, so it's like some dykes are trying to shop it. But then I realized my privilege, which doesn't happen often, Rachel.
No,
but I'll
I
say
can't
my
imagine
privilege
it would for you.
that I get to go through the boys department Nobody really bats an eye. But if I saw a grown man in the little girls department shopping and he didn't have a little girl with him, I'll tell you, alarm bells.
Absolutely. What a great point. And the nice thing about being a lesbian shopping at the kids store is also you realize you don't have to have your parent with you. You can enjoy the kids store for the first time because you get to choose what you want to wear.
Yeah, Rachel,
You know
were
what I
you
mean?
buying... I could see you picking up a pair of Velcro shoes with the movie Cars all over them.
I did a lot of light up shoes. We only
No, but
shopped
now,
at
as a
Payless.
grown-up.
Oh, sure. I'd give it a shot. I'll do whatever. I don't even care anymore. I have no clothes here right now.
What did you have to
shopping.
tell me? You had something major to tell me.
Get this,
What?
okay? I was at a different party the other night.
You're really hobnobbing.
Well, I'm just going
Why
to
don't you
people's
ever invite
birthday
me?
parties. Because it's like, you wouldn't want to come. You'd have a horrible time. It's like people's birthdays who you don't know.
I've invited you to things and then I renege the invite.
Well, that's not very nice.
Well,
If you
I
want
still
me to invite
invited.
you to things, I will.
I don't know if we're outside of work friends. I think that's the issue with us. With our birthday, like I was pushing it. I'm like, okay, Rachel, I'll come say happy birthday. But I know you don't want me to take over. Just for the record,
do
I
anything
wouldn't
for my
take over.
birthday.
If I went to your birthday, I would
Yeah.
be very, like, we're at your birthday. Just so you know, I'm very good like that.
Okay, that's good to know. I'll consider it next time if I ever have a birthday again.
Well, you're not invited to my birthday. Gabby and I went
made
to
you
Ojai,
a
just the
cake
two
for
of
your
us.
birthday. Excuse me, I made you a cake for your birthday.
It's true. Oh, you were invited to my birthday because it was also my Netflix screening.
Yes, and you would invite me again.
I would, yes.
Great. And if I had a party, I would invite you. I just don't have one this year. It's not right. Okay, so a couple things happen. First thing is I'm at this party and this girl comes up to me. I don't know if she listens to the podcast, but she was like,
Hot, give me a number, 1 to 10.
no, that's not right.
Okay.
She was like, Rachel, I have to tell you something crazy. I was like, oh my
I'm guessing
God.
a 6. Okay. Just because you wouldn't say.
And she's like, I write on this Disney kids show. And I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
okay. She was like, one of my coworkers is writing an episode. And in the episode, one of the main characters has 2 lesbian moms. And we've been trying to figure out what to name them. But the writer of the episode is a big fan of the Too Far podcast. And so in the list of names that she was writing, she put Rachel and Robbie. And it passed clearance. And so now we are 2 lesbian moms in a Disney Channel show named
You're
Rachel and Robbie.
kidding!
Can
I better be the top. You know what
Sure.
they'll do? They'll do 2
Rachel comes
female-looking
first
girls.
in the alphabet.
Doesn't matter, but I better be the top, and you're the bottom. But you know what they'll do with 2
sexually.
dykes?
They're not having sex on the Disney
No,
Channel
but
kids
even
show.
the way that they'll dress them is they're both going to
It's
look
animated,
like the mom.
it's animated.
Yeah, but they're both, so what? They're both going to look like the mom from Family Guy.
Lois.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, that's what they do.
I
with
think they're
lesbians.
going to give one of us
You
pink
don't think-
spiky hair.
You don't think I started in kids television and I won an Emmy for writing an episode of television for kids? Live
I
action
understand.
kids show Odd Squad on PBS, my first job.
I understand. What does that
How
have
does
to
it
do
feel
with
that you're with an Emmy winner?
Well, I'm just so fortunate.
Yeah, you really are. Wow, what's the show called? What's the writer? Let's give a
I
shout
don't know.
out.
The writer's name is Sarah. I don't know what the show is called. But she was
okay.
like, I tried to get you guys cast in it, but they said no.
What the fuck? I have a history with kids television. I resent this. What's
Right,
the
well,
show
let's
called?
reach
Because
out.
I must know. I probably know. I'm going to look up. Can you look up Disney shows right now? Disney kid shows? Because I wouldn't be surprised if I knew the showrunner and they're going to get an email.
Disney
I'll tell
kids
you.
shows animated. Howl House, Iwaju, Phineas and Ferb.
Is it Phineas and Ferb?
I think that's off the air. I'll ask her. Maybe it's DuckTales, Chippendale. No, it's something like, whatever the fuck. But look, pretty funny, huh?
Wow. We better get IMDb'd for that. I'm going to request to IMDb. That's
All right, let's
Robbie.
get our reps
And you know
involved.
what? They're using my likeliness.
I agree with you.
They're
But
using...
can you believe we are a happy couple that kids will look up to?
I do think we're a happy couple. I think despite everything, what people don't realize is this is how we're happy in this
Right.
type of dynamic. This is a
Right.
home dynamic for us. We grew up in tumultuous
Oh, yeah.
situations that we're comfortable
I have
in.
something else to say about my
Please.
birthday.
Please.
My dad texted me. He always texts me on my birthday. This is
Yeah.
my dad.
He's a nice guy.
No, sometimes he doesn't text me on my birthday, but when he does, it's also, I was born at 10:12 a.m., okay?
Yeah.
That was drilled into my brain. And if he texts me at 10:12 a.m., it means he wants to be in my life again. But if he texts me after 10:12 a.m., it means it means I'm like a passing thought. And then sometimes he doesn't text me at all for my birthday. But he always shows
He
back
wants
up
you
in
dead
my-
in that case.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
What do you think of this? Inside the mind of an abuser, etc. This is how he's
Yeah.
influenced me. Okay? But on my birthday, he sends me a picture of my birth certificate, which I've been asking for years, and he said, I don't have it, stop asking me. But he sends me a picture of my birth certificate, and then he also sends a text saying, what did he say? Let me see if I can find it. I haven't responded. It's too scary. He said, like it or not, your estranged dad is predicting a meaningful relationship forming within the next 12 months. So prove me wrong.
That's so
Pretty scary.
cute.
No, it's a
That's
bit
so
scary.
cute. Why don't you get together with him?
Because he's abusive.
No, he's not abusive anymore.
Yes, he is. This is
No,
the
he hasn't
cycle
been
he
abusive
does.
in so long.
Yes, he has been.
He talks to your sibling.
It's in cycles, and do you know how this type of stuff is? Of course.
I do. Well, my sister, I got the lowdown on my sister finding my father outside of Vegas,
What's the
living
lowdown?
in this complex with all crazies and whatever. So my sister and him went out. He was very cute and sweet. I was very happy to hear that he's not, even though my father was so abusive, beat my mother to a pulp for 13 years. He did always remind us after fighting with my mother, to call it a fight even, after beating my mother, that he would never hit us, which always felt like, okay. You know, we were like sitting on the stairs looking at this woman like battered in the corner. And he's like, you know, well, I would never hit you. And I'm like, okay, well, you kind of hurt Ma. Like, I just don't even know what to do with that. But we kind of did go, well, at least.
Right.
And for years after, I would say, well, he never hit me.
No, of course.
And I remember that
understand.
other people's parents would be like, and I'm like, that's pretty good. Like, he literally did not hit me. So anyway, so I'm happy to hear, you know, I know that he was homeless. I really am happy to hear that he was able to figure out his Social Security, have a 1-bedroom apartment, that he's
Yes.
buying food, that he can buy food. He had Tropicana orange juice there, which is a big splurge. For those who know, Jews really can't get rid of the name brand of certain things. Hellman's mayonnaise, essential. We buy it by the bucket. Heinz ketchup, you know, just
Yep.
the basics. Tropicana orange juice is one of those splurges that
Was
the
it pulp
poor-
or no pulp? Did you
no
know?
pulp. We're not animals.
I like the pulp. As
You
I've
want
gotten
pulp?
older,
Well,
I like
why
the
don't
pulp.
why don't you
Adding
scratch
pulp-
skin flakes into your
That's
fucking
disgusting.
juice?
Adding
if you
pulp
like
is
pulp.
like drinking. As you add more pulp into your life as you get older, that's like you start to drink blacker coffee. To me, if you're taking the pulp out, it's like what, you can't handle little strings in your throat.
No, and I can't handle black coffee, so sue me.
Me
I'm a
neither.
dyke.
I can't handle black coffee.
Okay, listen. Well, I guess it's more faggy than dykey. Dykes have black coffee, and I picture gay guys have a lot of cream, if you know what I mean.
Because it come.
This is
awesome.
them holding the coffee with the cream.
Oh God. Wait, what is that?
They're like
slurp-
holding the handle.
Oh, I understand.
They come on top of it.
That.
They come on top of it, and they make
Do
a
you
little
think?
cream with
I
the
bet
design.
someone's done that.
Oh, of course.
yeah.
If you think about it, they've done it.
They're making cum art on top of the coffee.
Cum art, yeah, exactly. In a dick, right? When you do that, coming and you have to get it out quick. You'd have to be quite
You
skillful.
make a heart. It's not so hard to make a heart.
Yeah, if you're
Having
coming
a
though,
dick
maybe
is like it's like a iPad stylus. You
oh,
can draw
how great
whatever.
would it be to have a dick?
No, I mean incredible.
Okay, so anyway.
See, Robbie, I just want to say this is the type of banter I like to have with you.
Oh,
Okay.
good. You never know.
We're
with
on the
Rachel.
same page.
We're on the
both
same
being
page.
funny. We both want a penis. Okay.
See? let me show you the pictures of my father, and I'll tell you what he said.
I think you did this last time.
No, I didn't show you all the pictures, though. I showed you
Okay.
a picture.
Okay, I'd love to see a whole picture.
So please
Slide.
stop with this nonsense, these lies that you have.
No, there's no
Okay,
lying.
let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, so see. Let me get this. Here, I'll go zoom in.
Oh, his
You got the
place setting and
Tropicana.
everything. Yeah.
Okay, there's paper plates, but he had plates set up. Very
Yeah.
nice. He's got a pictures of flowers.
That's nice. That's nice.
Okay, and then, okay, he showed them his cowboy hat. But he's got a picture of the Rebbe.
Wow.
Okay, you can't not. Show
Yeah.
it to the Rebbe. And then he's got pictures. This broke my heart.
Of you guys?
Yeah, just tons of pictures of us.
My dad has the same thing. It's devastating. Aww. Wow. Wow.
He has pictures and pictures. Okay, this was a visit to Canada. He came. See, I'm sitting on him. That's me sitting on him. My brother Menachem on top of me. This is
Yeah.
only 7 or 8 kids. There's
Wow.
Schneer, Shalom. Look, you
Yeah.
see everyone here.
Yeah,
But this
I
was
do.
a
It's
great
just
visit.
devastating.
Just a great visit. But he has these pictures, it breaks my heart. But the Tropicana is killer. And you know that's a splurge. And he kept insisting they hold hands with him.
Like when they're walking.
You know,
or
he
just
always
eating?
does like something like, he used to do face to face, and he would put his face next to your face. He's very affectionate. What's hard for me is my mother isn't affectionate. My father is extremely affectionate. This is why we can have nuanced relationships with these people, because he's very affectionate. His abuse, it came out of him like the Hulk. It was like uncontrollable, his rage.
Yeah.
And I really feel badly about that. Not to excuse that, but I think if he was obviously hurting, something really crazy, but he wasn't able to deal with it, and he was in the wrong religion to deal with it. I think any fanatic religion, but he would do this thing face to face, and he just reeks. First of all, his beard is like massive, scratchy. It's got food in it, and it's like he smells like cigars and whiskey and coffee. And he would do face to face, and then he tricks you and gives you kisses everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so he did
That's
that with
sweet.
her. He said she did it once, but she was like really. And then I'll show you the hand, and then I'll get into what he said about me. Okay, so here, she said he looked really good. He insisted on taking her luggage. He wears the kind of glasses, and I have been thinking about, he wears the sunglasses that you can put over your glasses. You buy them at the pharmacy.
Well, it's to protect your eyes, basically 360 from the sun.
Yeah, but also you don't need to take off your glasses. Here's, they did hand to hand.
Yeah, we gotta clean his beard out, huh?
Okay, his beard he's missing all of his teeth, she said. He has no teeth. So he talks like this. So he's missing all of his teeth due to
How is he
decay from
eating?
alcohol, whatever. He eats, There's a will, there's a way. She said that my mother sent him a guitar recently, so they've had no communication. He did say that if my mother was interested, he would get with her. Okay. But she has no interest. First of all, he beat her to a pulp, but he's like over it, so she should be.
Oh my
And
god. You have
he
to
has
do a
since
parent
been
trap.
medicated. Yeah, but he said, but my mother sent him a guitar because my brother had gone to see him. Everybody's heard he's medicated now when he's a lot more stable. So this has been a really wild development. Yes, he's missing his teeth. Yes, he uses the N-word. Yes, he's horribly volatile. But this is actually the most stable he's been in years. And he's wanting to take up music. He apparently was complimenting my mother the entire time, saying she's the best musician. I mean, she's an incredible guitar player. But he was like, she's the best. And he said,
do you think he's in love with her? Do you think he spent the last 30 years like just being like pining for her?
Yes, he has, because even when he was married, he got married. Shout out to my late stepmother, Ellen. that was the
Wait,
last
you had
time.
a stepmother?
I had a stepmother for years. She was amazing. When my father, so after my parents divorced, my father got married. He only allowed her to have the divorce once he met somebody else to marry. It's
Of
called the
course.
get. So,
I might
you
do
know,
that.
Yeah. And she was amazing. She brought my father back into our lives. That's why we had these visits to Montreal and everything. She was an amazing.
Was she Orthodox
brilliant.
too?
No, she was Jewish, and she became more Orthodox for him, but he didn't really care about her because she wasn't the mother of his kids. In his eyes, he's still eternally with my mother, and he was open to her about this, to his credit. That, oh, he's supposed to be with my mother. She's the mother of his kids, and like that's just what the beshert, that's what the soulmate
Yeah.
is. So now that she's died, he said Ellen didn't come up once. He said my mother came up, that if she was ever interested, he would definitely. And I honestly think they would be good together.
Yeah. Well, they have a history.
They're also as crazy as each other.
Maybe she should just get to. Do you think if she, the rage room where you can go like break plates?
She would never break anything, my mother.
But maybe she should.
No, she has no anger, no anything. She's just not sexual anymore. He beat her sexuality out of her.
Jesus Christ.
That is
okay.
what
Wait.
happened. So then my sister said,
Wait. When did the stepmom die?
Oh my God.
And
Long
were they
time ago.
together?
About 10 years ago when my father, yes. That's when my father went crazy again, because when my stepmom died, he didn't have anyone picking up medication for him. He didn't know his own medication. He also didn't have his own insurance. He had her insurance. I don't know what happened with that, but he wasn't able to follow through with the paperwork or whatever. And he basically went from a medicated diabetic, OCD, he had mental medication and also physical medication, to zero medication. And he became the worst he's ever been. Destructive, not only abusive to like anyone who would be around him, but himself and whatever. So he made my sister and her boyfriend coffee. He spiked it with his good whiskey. So they said that was funny and amazing and very generous. Yeah. But that's what he does. And she said, would you ever, see Rivki, me? I'm Rivki in my family. My name is Rivka, and my whole family calls me Rivki. It says this on my bracelet too.
I understand.
Okay.
How charming.
But he said, yeah, but no homo shit.
That's what he said?
Yeah, he said no homo. And he said...
what does that mean? He doesn't want to be homo with you? I mean, when people say no
she was
homo,
like, Gabby is so amazing. Her new girlfriend's amazing. He's like, I don't care. No homos.
Then she was what does that mean, though? Like, he won't see you because you're homo? Or he's saying
no, but
just
he
to
will
pretend?
see me.
Uh-huh.
He just doesn't want me to bring my homo shit, i.e. no girlfriend or whatever. But I would still look like a homo, so I don't know...
Well, I have to say, the photo you just showed me, you look pretty gay.
Who, I look gay or he looks gay?
Well, he looks gay too, by the way. Let's not...
Yeah, no. But who seems gay? I seem gay?
But I'm saying in that photo of you as a kid, you're wearing like a black turtleneck and cigarette, black jeans. That's a gay kid.
Yeah,
with the middle part.
When he would come to visit, we would be sneas a little bit. Sneas means modest. So my brothers would put back on their yarmulke. By this point, they weren't wearing yarmulkes. But when my father would come to visit, they would wear a yarmulke, and I wouldn't wear necessarily short sleeves. I became like modern Orthodox. Not as I wouldn't wear a skirt or whatever, but I would put like long stuff on. So I wore a turtleneck and this sort of thing.
There was one time when my dad, this was like fucking 7-8 years ago. My dad took me out for my birthday with my partner at the time, who was trans. And terrible. My dad wouldn't look at her. Like, he's sitting with me at dinner, my partner's next to me, and my dad's not looking at her, which I guess is no homo. He's saying, happy birthday, no homo. And then at the end, we're all staring at the check. I'm like, are you picking up dinner? I was like 22. Probably working more than he was at that point. But I was like... And then he was like, all right, I'll pick up a check. But I was like, is he going to make her pay for her part of the meal? Because it's like we had a separate meal, basically.
Yeah, he could have.
But he didn't. He did pay. Didn't pay child support, but he paid for one $30 meal.
Exactly.
You're bored now that I'm talking about my dad?
No. Just because I'm yawning, I'm not bored. We've dispelled this.
I know. So how's Phoenix, by the way?
It's actually much better than I thought.
I saw the video you posted.
I thought we had 11 tickets.
And you sold many.
We sold many. We were like at 200. I don't know why they made me so nervous.
Fabulous,
will you post?
Robbie.
Will you post? Will you post? And I'll say this, Joan Rivers opener, longtime opener, opened for me. I had no idea that he did that. But he said she would have loved me. And it just broke my heart.
Right.
And then I heard that, you know, she had this grand apartment. He told me all about the apartment. She had this grand Trump-like apartment covered in gold. She flew this guy in from Russia to repaint the gold by hand. He was like 80 years old, and they had a good time repainting the gold. And Melissa, who has no consolation prize, the daughter of Joan, she sold the apartment. She didn't even keep the apartment. First of all, the collection that Joan would have had in art and fashion is so, it kills me that we don't get to see that collection in like the Met or some type of exhibit, because when she did, there's so many things that Joan Rivers wasn't credited for that really break my heart. Like the whole red carpet was started by Joan.
What do you mean?
The whole "what are you wearing?"
Oh,
the first person to do that.
Yeah.
Joan Rivers said, I'm going to go to these awards. The award show, it used to be a 10-minute red carpet. They would walk in. Joan would stop as many famous people as she could and talk to them. Now it's a 2-hour ordeal. And the first time he told me, shout out to Tony Tripoli, who I found out has the same birthday as me, December 2nd.
Wow.
But he said, I said, you know, it really bothers me that she wasn't credited with this entire fashion empire that she built. And the first time, apparently he told me the backstory of it, he said the first time that she did this, where she ran up to a celebrity, in the 2 seconds they were going from their car to the event, it was like not even a deal. She thought of this out of just, she was curious about what people were wearing because she loved fashion. And
that's like us.
Take a deep breath. It's like us.
Oh, I'm yawning. What happened? You're getting worked up?
Yeah. So, and also the Jewel. I bought a Jewel in Phoenix. This has nothing to do. And it makes me very tired. Must be a chemical.
No.
But Joan, what she did was she ran up. The first person she ran up to was apparently Sarah Jessica Parker. And she said, who are you wearing? And Joan got so much flack for that. Everybody said that she was so insulting. SJP was up for some award, and all she distilled her to was what she's wearing, like it's an object. And the fashion designer said, no.
This is perfect.
No, Sarah Jessica Parker dispelled this. She reviewed it and said, no. I was so excited that she asked me who I was wearing, so I could give credit to this amazing designer who made me this thing to wear. And fashion people, all of the designers said, we've been waiting for this our whole careers.
Wow. Shout out, Joan.
And it's the reason we know about so many great designers.
Yeah. So she changed our life.
She changed our life in that way. And I do wish the series Hacks would give her, everybody knows that a lot of Hacks is inspired by Joan. If they could give just a black card dedicated to Joan, even on her birthday, something. It's just crazy.
Totally.
So it's so sad that we're left with Melissa. And Melissa apparently...
What do you have is she baked by Melissa, or this is someone else?
Melissa is her daughter, and I think Joan
Rivers.
Melissa had a lot. Wasn't born with her mother's gift, but Joan had a lot of guilt for me watching the show and following Joan about like her, you know, her daughter. Like, you're supposed to love your kid and whatever, and she really did love this kid. What?
I didn't know Joan Rivers' husband died by suicide.
Yeah, by suicide. He thought he ruined her career.
Why?
So he was managing her. Joan Rivers got a talk show. She was the sub-host for Carson for many years, and finally, and she killed it. And finally, Fox offered her own talk show. Carson never spoke to her again because he thought he betrayed her. Disgusting, this man. People were defending him and this and that. A woman gets her own show. She says yes to it, and then you stop talking to her. It's like they cannot take it, these guys, okay?
No.
But anyway, the deal with Fox went from bad to worse. Everything was sour about it. Joan's show was canceled. First of all, she had better ratings than Carson, and they canceled the show. This is how much they hate women, more than they love money. When you think about it, that would never happen nowadays. But back then, you would choose hating women over making money. Imagine.
Hello?
But because he
Hello?
was managing her, they didn't like the manager. Oh, you froze. You froze. You froze. Hello?
Hey.
He. I don't know if I have stuff in my teeth. It doesn't matter. Let's open this fortune cookie and we'll continue where we're doing.
Okay. I think fortune cookies have gotten worse.
Well,
Dude. It's awesome. You had sushi?
mm-hmm. The only certainty is that nothing is certain.
Death. Oh, well, death is certain.
No,
Robbie.
it's not. You know what I read right before
What?
I went to bed? Because you know I'm on my Reddit.
Yeah.
The first person who was frozen, what is it called? Kynographically
Oh, cryogenically frozen?
Yeah, cryogenically. Say it again.
What did you say? Cryogenic. You said that's the name of my therapist growing up.
Of course you had a therapist growing up.
At
I'm
the
sure Richard's
NYU,
Upper
excuse me,
West Side,
at
Upper
the NYU Child Study Center, I was the subject of study so that I could get therapy for free. Robbie.
Oh yeah, it helped a lot.
Okay, you're saying?
First successful guy woke up.
No.
Yeah.
Why isn't that a bigger story?
It's a massive story. It was like the front page of the technology section.
You know who was frozen?
Who?
Walt Disney.
No, I know, but this guy was frozen recently. They did a very short thing, something like they froze him and unfroze him.
Oh, did he die?
Yeah. But they froze him right before he died and then woke him up after.
No.
Yes,
way.
something like this. Yes, we're getting close. We're getting really fucking close. Well, when you think about bionics,
Yeah.
right? Like 100 years ago, they would never think to give you a new liver and then you would live another 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
now not only are they giving transplants, but we have micro transplants. We have some arteries we can change.
Well,
blood
the Neuralink
cells.
worked. Have you heard of this? That
Yeah,
lift
the Neuralink, just by thinking you can move. So really, we're very close to being able to replace absolutely every part of you.
But then how much of you is you? You know, it's
Well,
that
I don't
whole
know.
thing.
I think as long as they keep the brain intact, you're pretty you.
Yeah.
If they can replace every blood cell eventually,
Yeah.
blood
Yeah.
transplant cells, they can make artificial cells. We don't know.
Yeah.
If they can make everything, like if something if a small artery stop working in your brain, and like we could I think we'll see somebody at least live till 200 in our lifetime by
200?
Yes, by extension.
Disgusting. Imagine what that's gonna look like.
No,
It's a pile.
great. They got Botox. They got filler.
But Botox over time, it's like these women
But
in
they
their
will be
80s who
able
got
to
Botox
replace
so.
skin. I think
I'd
they'll
love
be
to
able
replace
to
skin.
They'll be able
Although
to
my
grow
skin's looking
skin.
pretty good.
Yeah, it does look good for you, but you could use a skin transplant.
You know, skin's the biggest organ of your body. Although
Yeah,
I'd say it
so I
depends.
think things will look and feel better too.
Okay, whatever works. Also, I didn't turn 31. I heard you saying that.
Oh. I don't know.
And
why I
you
would
said
say
that in the text too, and I corrected you, and you didn't
No,
respond.
Rachie is 29 years old.
Yeah.
People
it's
think
all
you're
scary.
much older. It's really a shame because you are small. I wonder if they think that in person.
People think I'm quite young in person.
Yeah. Same with me.
No, Robbie.
No, it is true. I mean, men don't know my age. It's always
Men can't
men.
guess age. They
Yeah.
only know if you're 18 or not. That's all they care about.
That is true.
Am I right, ladies?
I'm all right. Let me finish
What
with
accent
this
was
Joan.
that?
So her husband, so she gets her own, she subs for Carson. She gets her own show. her husband is managing this deal. He was a big-time lawyer, whatever. He's managing her. Joan was very about keeping everything in the family. And the show hated him. All the executives at Fox, they hated her husband, and they told Joan, you have to fire your husband. And she said she couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. The show gets canceled. He kills himself because he felt responsible for the cancellation. And he couldn't
she must have been pissed.
He couldn't bear that he had ruined her career or potentially had anything to do with that.
So he ruined her life instead by killing himself?
He left her in a lot of debt.
Ay, ay, ay.
He wasn't a good businessman, as she said.
Look, mental illness is hard.
So that's what happened. But that's why Fashion Police was such a hit for the E! Network, because Joan was truly into fashion. You know, when she died, they tried to, like, put in all these, like, they put in Kathy Griffin, who, like, fine, is funny, and I love Kathy. Shout out to Kathy, Life on the D-List, one of the great shows. I agree.
I used to watch that.
Yeah, and Joan's life was really that funny. That was a great reality show. That's where you see her
She's from
and
Crown
Melissa.
Heights, too.
Yeah, that's where you see her and Melissa. I think she's from Jersey, actually.
So she grew up in Brooklyn. Heights.
Yeah, I think something like that. You could be right, I could be wrong. But Joan,
thank you.
You could see their dynamic in Joan's reality show where it's like Melissa is just not funny. I think Joan is confused about having one kid who's like so unfashionable, so doesn't have it, but really wants it. Like one of these original Nepo babies.
Yeah.
Like one of the original. Like this is the case for not like, you know, that not everybody could do it. Melissa did go into producing and more things in her. And on the show, or even in the documentary, you know, Joan is showing her telling Melissa, like, don't be in this business. It's such a business of rejection. It's so hard. But really what she knows is that Melissa doesn't have it.
She's not good enough, yeah.
Because Joan didn't only have rejection.
Right.
It's so much rejection for somebody who doesn't have it. Wake up.
I know, and it's a lot of rejection even if you do have it.
Exactly.
Let's not forget.
That's true. That is really true.
Oh,
but it was
God.
only, you know, so Melissa, so then they tried to get Fashion Police. It's kind of like when they canceled Roseanne and they continued the show without Roseanne. It's like, fine, cancel the show, cancel Roseanne. Let's not, like, Fashion Police should have just been canceled, or they give it to us.
We should go to a red carpet.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because we know, we love fashion, we like designers, we want designer things.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody one day will dress us for this type of carpet. You get
Thank
some dykes.
God, please. A couple years ago, after I went to a WNBA game, I went to this bar. Ginger's. Shout out to Ginger's in Brooklyn. You been there?
Yeah, I have actually.
You did a show there, right?
I did a show.
That's a brutal spot for a show. But
brutal, but I was paid well.
That's good. A lot of the WNBA players go to Ginger's after games if they're gay, especially like the older ones who are kind of retired. I met this woman named Sue Wick. She's about 7 feet tall.
Sue Bird?
No, not Sue Bird. But I did sit behind Sue Bird at a game, and she told me that I was being too loud.
Oh. Wow.
So that's not good.
This is why people don't go to the WNBA games. Because it's bitchy. You can't be loud at a sports event. Like, literally grow up.
I agree with you. Oh, my roommate needs the headphones. Let me tell her.
Why?
Just in a couple minutes.
No, we need a half hour, a couple minutes.
Do you need them? I bet I could do my AirPods. Let me see. Hold on. I know, it's okay.
This is terrible. I will say dykes are having, while you're doing this, I'll continue with this. Dykes on the red carpet doing Fashion Police is the next move. Because gay men have slipped. They've let the throne go on the fashion front of things. And dykes are in.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I was talking about the slippage of gay men out of fashion. And the rise of dykes like us who are starting to know what we're talking about more.
I agree.
The torch has been reluctantly passed. Gay men have been
when
dropping.
When were gay men fashion?
They dropped the ball because it used to be that the gay men was like, oh well, gay men, of course they're great decorators, of course they're great fashion, but the only reason that they were was they were subverting stuff. They were wearing bright colors and patterned suits and whatever, fine. But dykes really have the eye. We really have finessed. And we actually have the style. They kind of have the fashion, and we're coming in with real innate style. So I think you do fashion police with people who are comedic and fashionable. And more so than fashion, stylish. I think we call it style police.
No, we have to abolish the police, Robbie, remember?
The style police.
We'll call it
style ACAB.
Style Gestapo.
The style Gestapo. Hi, I am Robbie Hoff, and I'm here on the carpet with the style Gestapo.
yeah. That's
and
funny.
we got Tom Hardy. He's wearing, actually, speaking of Gestapo, he's wearing Tom
Chanel.
Brown. Tom Brown.
There we go. Sure.
With the Nazi-inspired stripes and everything.
Well, Chanel was a Nazi.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Hugo Boss.
What are you going to do?
What are you gonna do? If you weren't a Nazi...
Separate the art from the artist for Nazis. Come on.
We would have been Nazis. I think I would have gone to the other side.
They would have been like, are you Jewish? I'd be like, no, but I know a couple. No question.
Literally.
I had stuff to do.
I would be watching your window.
Robbie.
Binoculars. I'd have binoculars of it. Knock. I'm like, I called it on Rachie. I'd watch them take you so fast.
Who do you think looks more Jewish?
Me.
You?
Yeah.
Because you're full Ashkenazi, which is just...
Well, you're Israeli. And I know you deny that. You're not. I know that you're Israeli. We need to just clarify this with the pod.
No, your
sibling. I know your sibling. Your sibling is clarified.
Robbie, my family is not from Israel.
Your father is from Israel.
No, he is not. He's from Morocco. He's generations of people from Morocco.
By the way, there's nothing wrong with being Israeli.
No, but I'm just saying I'm actually not.
People are born in Israel.
IDF.
Yes.
That is true. He was a refugee.
He's also
Morocco
a settler.
And Israel. Huh?
He's a settler also.
Well, he was a refugee. It's tough.
Oh, I was kidding.
Really didn't
I have no clue if he was a settler. Is he in the West Bank?
I'll tell you a little bit about my background. How about that? And there's a lot I don't know because my dad doesn't talk to me about this type of stuff, if at all. He was born in Morocco in the 60s. That's when they're kicking out the Jews. He gets to Israel. They say, actually, you're too Arab. He has to go back to Morocco. They're saying, what are you doing here? We kicked you out. He's living in tents. He gets back to Israel. Horrible, living in the ghettos, whatever. And then he joined the IDF. And then he was too crazy to have a gun. So they put him in the band.
Good. Easy yuffie. Easy yuffie.
He played the double bass, huge instrument.
They gotta give us fashion police, style police, style Gestapo. If you guys are listening, it's such a shame. So Melissa sold this apartment. Mm-hmm. So this Fifth Avenue apartment, which was like crazy decadent, like literally should be a museum. They should do it like the Anne Frank tree. They should do it like the Anne Frank attic. You can go and see Joan's. Like, she sold it to a Saudi billionaire. Would Joan Rivers not roll over? Not only does she not keep it in the family, to some Saudi investor, somebody who doesn't even live in New York. Like, Joan would have wanted it for somebody to enjoy it.
It's tough. I remember walking around during COVID.
He gutted the entire place. It had
to sell the gold.
All the old gold, all the old finishings, the railings. This was a building that Joan maintained in meticulous fashion from its era. And he gutted it. It looks like a hotel lobby now.
Yeah, it's tough. There were, when it was during COVID and I was walking around, you'd kind of like, there was a big migration out of New York. These rich people. Sorry.
They went to the country, right?
Yes, but then it's like as you looked further up these buildings that had like the penthouses and whatever, the lights would be off because these people weren't there. Empty apartments, and it's like all of those people, all the kind of like investors or whatever, the people who actually live somewhere else. I was like, This is crazy. It was so depressing.
Yeah. Well, let us live there while you're away.
What's the issue? I'll clean the floor.
You know what could help the Airbnb problem? They should do mandatory Airbnb. A certain percentage of rich people, they should mandatory when you're not there, we put your shit on Airbnb. Mandatory.
But it should be free a bit, or it's like in exchange for services.
No, it's just listen, because people who make money at Airbnb, it's the people who rent out their places in their one freaking extra room, whatever, in Queens. But it's mostly very rich people. It's the investors of Airbnb. It's the executives of Airbnb, as usual. So those people, in turn, buy penthouses. Well, you like Airbnb so much, investors? Your property is an Airbnb. You have to rent it to animals. You have to clean up the empty cans of Coors Light strewn about.
I agree.
It's enough
with
is
you.
enough. You know how we do 10% of housing? Like these building developers are so sad. They say, yeah, we had to take 6 units for low-income housing. You know, so the building...
Which, by the way, isn't even low income.
No, it's like $4,000.
Low-income housing
yeah.
in New York, it's like still $2,500 a month.
Right. So they take like 6 units out of $1 billion property and they go, 6 units of the building of actually low-income. And they give people, they just to jab it in. Because somebody won, I watched a YouTube video, somebody won one of these New York lotteries for one of these low-income properties in one of these big developments. And like she has like a worse laundry machine.
Once.
Yeah, you did?
And it was a shithole. I mean, it's these buildings they basically build out of plywood. It's like the wind blows and you hear it ricochet through all the walls.
Yeah, so she's in one of these buildings where everybody has like new appliances. Like they gave her like an old washing machine and like it's not even anyway. So you know how we do like 6% of this new $1 billion development is going to be for low income housing. 6% of all penthouses are going up on Airbnb.
Let's do it.
You want Airbnb to exist? You're going to pay too. We're all going to pay for Airbnb.
You to pay up, billionaires.
We're all going to pay. I am so sick that there's not these class action suits. I was thinking about the cartel that runs, this entire country, whether it's medicine or the tax system, that hospitals work with doctors, that work with insurance companies, and they all collude together so as to make money, right? The same happens with the taxes, where it's like the government colludes with, the IRS colludes with.
The IRS hates me.
With
Please
the government
give
to
up.
make, and they unfairly. I'm wondering if we have a lawyer. I'd love to have, specifically if we have an ACLU lawyer, or if we have a listener of
I have a friend who's like
in public law.
Yes, I have a friend who does that.
Well, can we reach out to them? And also, if you're listening and you're doing this, please, because we don't need bias towards Rachel's friends. But
it's about public law. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
So what's the bias
I'd be curious to see who comes out to me. And
are you going to sue me?
No, never. But listen to me. What they should do suit for is for, we need them. You know how Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she would pick a case that would set a precedent so that you could go to the Supreme Court. Because the Supreme Court only adjudicates on, how do you say that word?
What, educates?
Adjudicates? Adjudicates, yeah.
Abdicates?
On cases that handle, to make, like they only abdicate. Abdicate?
Abdicate is when you step down from the throne.
So adjudicate. They only judge.
Let me just look up the word quickly because I'm not sure I know how to use it. Adjudicate.
Adjudicate. Yeah, they only adjudicate on cases that are moral questions of life. So if there's a prejudice via man versus woman or something like this, a question, right? And how Ruth Bader Ginsburg achieved a lot of the changes that she made to the law were by one little case. So like a man was staying home, a man lost his wife, for instance, and so then he was left home with the baby, and then he was asking for maternal rights. something like that, or maternity leave or something like this. And they said, of course, he should be honored as a woman in this way, and he should have all the benefits awarded to him that a mother would get on maternity leave. And of course, she flipped this to mean see how men and women should be treated the same. And she used that for everything else. She set a precedent that if we're letting a man be treated like a woman, then we have to let a woman be treated like a man in the eyes of the law. So very smart questions of morality that get to the Supreme Court. How we haven't done this yet with the tax system, the healthcare system, like we know now.
Well, we have a little bit.
No, it's public information that people are, poor people are disproportionately audited by the IRS, right? They're making $100K a year, okay, which to poor people sounds like a lot. It's really not a lot in this country, okay, to even poorer people. And those are the people who get audited. And it causes a lot.
I was audited.
Of course.
It was a disaster and it wasn't my fault, but I think you're off my back.
No, and the whole thing is like, it's just a nightmare to be audited. You got to go through everything. They love to create paperwork for the poor. Again, this is one of the ways I yell about on this show, that we keep the people poor by giving them a ton of admin work to do. Auditing is one of those things. I want somebody who's been audited, who makes, $100K a year, $60K a year, whatever. I want somebody to take his case all the way to the Supreme Court and show prejudice on account of poverty. Like, it's enough. Like,
why don't you do it, Robbie?
Well, because you have to get, I really want it to be, hey, I don't have the time even for this, but to somebody that this is a huge headache to. No, I literally want the ACLU to really carry
You could file an amicus brief. Do you know about this?
No, what's this?
That's someone where it's like, I agree with what's going on, but maybe it hasn't happened to me yet. I took a class in Supreme Court. You listen. If you are did you freeze? Oh no. If you are a listener who has been audited, I know, and I'm like, is she frozen? If you're a listener who's been audited, reach out. We'd love to help you get to the Supreme Court. I know a guy whose sister is on the Supreme Court.
It's so crazy. I also want somebody. I think anybody, and I will be I'm happy to do this with the lawyer. I think any taxes I owe, we should go to the Supreme Court and say, I don't want to pay them, just like the rich evade.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a matter of prejudice that we are forced to pay our taxes when the rich people have now been proven to use tax legal loophole to evade tax. So either we change the code and make the rules the same for everyone and we close all the loopholes, or we don't. But these are matters of Supreme Court. The same for the health care. But
the Supreme Court is conservative now.
I don't care. I want to go all the way up.
I know, but it's actually not the right timing. We have to do it in 100 years. Obama and actually RBG should have resigned so that a Democratic president... It's criminal what these people have done for their egos. Don't even get me started. Speaking of which, by the way...
You think Bader did it for her ego?
Well, what else? She should have resigned and then Obama...
I don't know if she was with her wherewithal. I think they should end the age. Yeah.
Well, they should end the Supreme Court, frankly. The government didn't let Merrick Garland on the court. That is criminal. What happened?
Who's that? What happened?
He was the Obama appointee who Mitch McConnell was like, no way in hell are we letting a Democratic appointee onto the Supreme Court when we're going to have a Republican president next, and then we'll pack the court with Republicans. Anyway, what do you think of the Trump trial?
I don't know anything about it. Oh, good. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Robbie, so much. Trump was found guilty on 34 counts. I think it's only going to help him, but it's a wet dream for baby boomers. Every baby boomer in my life texted me, can you believe it? Happy birthday.
They don't know. I mean, it's all theatrics.
Yeah.
I just, none of this is real. Like, they've distorted language to a point, like laymen, like this is, a jury, like the fact that law language is so impossible to read if English, even if it's in your native tongue, the same language that you speak, it just goes to show that the whole purpose of it is to convolute and to obfuscate. Like just what's going on. It's like our country, that's all we do is make things complicated for the sake of making things complicated. Like, there's no other taxes. Like, tell me what, you owe. You tell me what I owe. You get the checks.
It's crazy.
Okay. Healthcare. Well, you have to call insurance. You're in and out. This is 20% here. The copay is this. You have to actually first go to this. Then you have to get a referral. Like, the whole thing is just, that's the system. Is to make it impossible. Never mind imagine English isn't your first language. Forget it. Leaving LAX. If English is not your native tongue, you are not leaving LAX airport. I'll tell you right now.
Even with English, now all of a sudden they got the flyaway bus, they got the connecting bus.
You gotta get on the Laxit bus. You got to get on the Laxit bus.
And suddenly they're taking you to Van Nuys. I'm trying to go to downtown. What's going on?
You got on the wrong flyaway. I told you about my flyaway trip. This is a hack that I use. I used to keep it to myself, and then I realized I'm not helping the other poor. The flyaway, if you leave LAX, the only way that you can get picked up by the curb is by the flyaway bus, which comes twice an hour only. What a service. Okay, it comes twice an hour, and it only goes,
$9.75.
Get this. It goes to Union Station downtown, or it goes to Van Nuys, the Valley. Imagine a bus that only has 2 stops, and the city is the size of Los Angeles.
But they're different stops, too.
They're different buses.
Right, so you can't even get on one and go to the other.
No, you either get on the Union, or you get, and they're so clear about it, too. They say Van Nuys.
No, the sign on this one was Union. Small and high up.
Yeah, but they also say Union. They yell, but you have your headphones on, and you are being your little Gen Z rude self, scrolling your phone. I
was actually helping a woman with her luggage, and I guess I didn't read the
sign. Could you imagine a service that goes twice an hour and only goes to 2 destinations? It's like, imagine New York City, the train only went to this end of the city or that end of the city. Like, it's insane that there isn't, but if you're not on the flyaway, if you're trying to get an Uber, you're not getting one. Okay.
No, you have to walk 3 miles.
If English is not your mother tongue, you are not leaving LAX if you ever should find yourself in LAX. So you live there now. Even if English is your mother tongue, me dropping my mother off at LAX? Good luck. Good luck. I don't think my mother could ever land in LAX.
She should fly out of, what's the one in Burbank? Bob Hope?
Yeah. Bob Hope is great.
Very expensive to fly out of there.
Yeah, Bob Hope only goes to Santa Monica and back.
Criminal what this world has done. Maybe we should fly private.
I'd love to fly private. If somebody here...
I actually wouldn't. We'll die. A smaller plane, you're gonna die.
Say chas v'shalom.
Chas v'shalom.
Chas v'chalil blin ha'rablaneter. Listen.
I'm not sure what the last
if you guys... If anybody here has a private plane or access, if you're a Nepo baby, you're a rich kid and you have access, can you have Ragey Time and I on for an episode? We'll do an episode live from the air. My God.
I'm not going in a helicopter, though.
No, never.
Okay, great.
Kobe, listen. I know the narrative.
The president of Iran.
Yeah, they tried to tell us with Kobe. I think I've yelled about this already. Like, he took a helicopter so he could spend more time with his kids or whatever. It's like, just spend more time with your kids. You don't have to
run. Why the helicopter?
They said that he said he used the helicopter to get to his kids' game so that he would, be able to make the kids' game. So it saved time. But it's like also, Kobe, you also don't have to have a million other businesses like a shoe company and all this stuff. You could just be at home after your millions and spend time with your kids.
Well, it takes a lot to build an empire,
Also, driving with your kids to the games gives you time in the car with your kids. Like, the narratives that they spin for the excess of the rich is really tiresome.
Right.
It's like, guys, just you're rich and it didn't work out for a second. Like, that's the whole thing.
Didn't work out. You passed away, sadly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what do you think of your birthday Pride episode?
Well, we didn't talk about Pride. We'll talk about it. Are you excited for our guest?
Very. So what? Explain to me our guest.
You explain to me our guest.
She's a doctor for autism, but she has a podcast.
She's a...
I know. We'll do it when we have her on. What are we doing now?
Sorry. I was just sort of giving a sneak
Now,
peek
I don't think that
curtain.
you talked a lot on this episode. I had a lot to say.
Well, you know, some people say, like, Rachel actually is saying stuff, but Robbie often doesn't ask follow-up questions.
You never ask me a question. I always ask.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. You haven't asked me a question.
All I do is ask you questions. But by the way, I had fun today.
Okay, good. But it's like, could you not wait for me to ask the questions? If you have something to say, just say it. Why do I have to drive what you're going to say?
No, because first of all, that's how conversation works. Second of all, I often say things and you say, okay, and then you just keep talking about your thing.
But if you say okay, what am I supposed to say to that? What kind of a...
You say okay.
Oh, okay.
I say something.
Well, if I don't have anything to say about what you're saying,
well,
then
you gotta try. You gotta try to dig in a little bit more. It's like with a piece of steak that's hard to cut, perhaps.
I try and eat around that.
Right. Well, you gotta dig in.
I try and eat around that little piece. There's always a couple pieces left on my plate because they had
I'm always spitting steak out into my napkin. I can't swallow it.
Will you show the shirt again that you bought? Why didn't you go back to the store?
It's not a store. It's a seller who is at a flea market.
You gotta go
actually
back
think I could resell it if I need to. Also, it's such a cool shirt. I'm not putting it on. It's like so much like scary emotional stuff.
I have maybe things to give you.
Really?
But I don't know if I should give you. But it is your birthday week. But we'll see. Oh, I ordered such a sick sweatshirt. I can't wait to see it. And I ordered jeans.
What is it?
So I thought this Canadian wire transfer, which I really want to make a post about. As everybody knows, and we'll just leave on this, it's been a very financially motivated episode. I understand that. I don't know why that is, but I'm feeling heated. But maybe the Trump trial has gotten to me. I don't know. But I had my Canadian savings. So in Canada, just like in the U.S., there's a union, there's a guild for actor, writer, whatever. What that union does is they collect pensions, they collect monies from every check that you have, and they put it in they invest it for you, and you kind of have, you have this backup. So they put it into my retirement savings. I've been, since I've been working in the industry, maybe like 10 years, I started in Canada. Many people know on the kids show that I won an Emmy for, but from every check, they've been putting in. And I had a couple on camera appearances. Anyway, it is what it is. They put in. Okay. Right. But now, since meeting with Miss Dow Jones, follow her, obviously. I'm having a big sit down with her in June where we're going through all of my finances. I realized that I did things backwards, that I bought a house before I had all the government accounts that she wanted me to have. So the past few months since talking to her, I have made sure to try and redo the steps. So even though I bought the house and I'm very happy with the house, it's not... Listen, I did the steps wrong. Still better to have a house than not have a house. So fine. So I went back. I think I'm almost at where I have my emergency fund. Okay. And now I'm ready to start making the contributions, albeit so late, to all the non-tax accounts. And I want to make up the past 10 years, basically, when I should have started. So I'm going to be very aggressive in my contributions to that, if I can be, God willing, please God. So I'm really thinking about this. Knock on wood, you know what it is. So one of the things was I wanted to move my Canadian retirement savings over to the US finally so that we can put them somewhere that yields me something here just because I don't live in Canada. But I always thought it was hard to get that, I'm like, what's this account, whatever. There's about $20K sitting in that account.
Canadian or US?
Canadian. So I say, I've moved to the US, I need to move it over. They go, no problem, we can send you a check. I get the check. They send me a Canadian check. The bank doesn't take the Canadian check because they're like, we don't take. Like, they have to give us a check, like, for this amount, whatever.
I already have a huge issue with this because money is money.
Yeah, no. So it's terrible with the bank, but also they have.
You have
my
4
name
minutes, by the way, before the meeting ends.
Anyway, bottom line, they refused to send me a wire. I said, the bank takes a wire. Also, the check would cost me $700 USD to cash just for the, okay? Versus a wire is $15. So I asked them to do a wire. They go, we can't do a wire, impossible. I get right to the CEO. I write them a scathing message, which I posted online about how they've taken my contributions electronically for years and years and years, no problem. Suddenly, I want my money that belongs to me, and they cannot do it electronically. They can only work archaically and send me a physical check. No,
I hear you.
I got somebody on the phone who got me the CEO, and guess who wired me? The CEO. Guys, they're lying to you when they tell you they can't operate fairly.
Always.
They are lying to you.
You know what?
And
I'm having
got
a similar
the wire,
type of
and that's
issue.
why I bought myself the $30 pair of jeans on Depop. So we'll see how they fit. And I got a sweatshirt, $170 USD. I can't wait. Big splurge.
What's the brand?
Big splurge. I'm not going to tell you because you copy.
I don't copy.
No, and even if you copied, I mean, you need so much work. I'm happy to take you shopping. Okay. This has been Style Gestapo. I'm your host, Robbie Hoffman, with my co-host on the carpet here,
Rachel Colley.
Follow us on everything. The YouTube was taken down due to profanity. We don't even know how many strikes we have left. We'll be back up. I hope we can put that other episode. People loved the fight episode that was up there. The State of the Pod. Can we re-put it up?
Figure it out. It's just so much work.
Guys, the audios are all available.
They're
Please
all
like,
up.
subscribe. Positive comments only, including on the YouTube.
Literally. I'm
Good
going to stop
Travis.
recording, but I want to talk to you.
Okay.
Just set schedule. Bye, guys.
Bye.